Money, money, money. It's all about the money. I want money, you want money. We all want money, right? But at what cost? Now, the government of Jamaica is up to their necks in debt, and every single year, taxpayers are charged more and more to pay off these debts. And because of that, the price of everything keeps going up. And I'm thinking to myself, what kind of future are we going to have in this little tiny island? You know, if every year things get more and more expensive, and the poverty line is just, it's there. Now they say there are 20%, well, the poverty level in Jamaica, well, those that are below the poverty level, I should say, are 20%, right? So I was watching a video the other day on one of our local channels, and I was seeing, how horrible it is for those people. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm not rich. I have my ups and downs, I have my poor days. But man, just to be able to have a meal for them, it's just so rough. And they struggle so hard each day. And there was this one lady, she has 3 children, and she works $5,000 a week. I think it's 5,500 or 5,000, somewhere between there. And she has to send her children to school, and she has to feed them. And there are people in the streets that are making 80,000 or maybe more, 60,000 a month or less, and they are in the streets protesting for the government to pay them more. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you're working for a government that is up to their necks in debt. They can barely take care of their poor, but at the same time, you're looking to them to raise your pay. And them raising your pay would mean that they would have to borrow more money, which means that you would have to pay off that money, which would mean that the cost of food would go up and the cost of other things would go up. So at what cost are we willing to get money? Is it worth it? So the government of finance said that there is just no money in the kitty. There is no money available. And I know a lot of people probably curse me out, but it's okay. Because I'm looking at things at a different level, I'm looking at things at the level that it's going to cost everybody else so that those people could get a raise of pay. And yes, they work hard, they go to college, get their degrees, and it costs them millions of dollars and stuff like that. But, I mean, come on. I'm sure you're not that naive. I'm sure you knew what you were going into before you went into it. You know what the government of Jamaica is like, you know what the economy is like, that we're poor and poverty stricken, most of us anyways. It's so sad, and when I think about Jamaica, because I'm not just speaking on one level, but when I think about how Jamaica is today, man, I'm just thinking we are poor. The people who live in Jamaica and live comfortably are those that are rich, that are in a stable job, who make probably $200,000 a month, or maybe 70,000. I don't know. If I had $70,000 a month, whew, that would be nice. You have to think ahead. You have to think like an entrepreneur. You have to think of ways in which you can become creative. What about the talents that God has blessed you with? I'm sure teaching is not the only thing. I'm sure being a policeman or whatever area it is that you work in the government, it's not the only thing that you do or the only thing that you can do. Find other ways to make money. Write a book, open a shop, something, sell food. You have to be creative because this is Jamaica, and in order for us to get better, we're just going to have to sacrifice a few things, you know. Just have to burn our belly and ball and stuff like that. But it's really hard. But we just have to try and do better. So my issue with this really is not the fact that people are crying for a raise of pay, because I'm sure they have their car loans to pay off, their mortgage to pay off, children to go to school, you know. But that's where education comes in, where people are trained about budgeting, they're trained about investing their money, you know, doing something on the side. Education, you know, it's power, and education is not just math, English, social studies, but it's also, you know, well, social studies. It's also social studies, way of life, the way we live. And that's one of the greatest education that we can have, how to go about life, you know. So my issue is not with them wanting raise of pay. My issue is what it is going to cause others. My issue is the price going up on food. Do you know how expensive chicken back is today? I mean, come on. The back of the chicken, not the leg, the thigh, or the wing, the back of the chicken. $80 a pound for that. And when you put it in your pot, yes, I do eat chicken back. When you take it out and you cut off the little fat off of it, nothing is left, and you wonder, was this 2 pounds or 3 pounds or even a pound? Depends on what you can afford, you know. So even that's getting expensive. How are poor people going to manage, you know? How are the middle class going to manage? They're going to get poor if this is the way Jamaica is continuing to go. I mean, we can do a lot better, but we need to be educated on a lot of things. And there needs to be more opportunities for us. The government can do better, and I really, really do not like the government that is in power right now. You know, they might say a lot of things about the other party, but they have not been in power that long. They had a 5-year term, and there's not much they could have done in that year. But what they did in those 5 years, I thought it was a big change, you know. So that government needs to change. The people that are in there, they need to retire, give it to some young people, or just hand over the government to the other party or something, because you're just really not saying anything. I don't really see where Jamaica is going. Even the training centers, they used to be a lot better, but today they're let me just kind of close my lips on that one. So whenever we're asking for things, we have to think about, you know, what is it going to cost? What are the long-term liabilities, you know? Because you are the same ones that are going to have to pay off all that debt when they borrow money to pay you. You know, think about people who are poorer than you. Think about those people in the ghetto who suffer. Sometimes they don't eat food for days, sometimes once a day. Sometimes their children can't even go to school. I'm sure for you, if it's even, you can eat at least 2 times a day, you have a car, you have a house. Well, there's some things that people can do without at the time. So we have to try and look at life that way, and try and come up with creative ways to make life better for ourselves instead of burdening other people. Right? Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this topic, and that was my topic for today on these are the issues. See you next time.